From the heart of the city, where the beat meets the rhythm of your day, it's Shawna and LaLa.
What's up? You're listening to Shawna and LaLa. Check us out at ShawnaandLaLa.com, on all social media platforms at Shawna and LaLa. You could follow me on Instagram and TikTok at The Real Shawna May.
And you could check me out at Bella_Lala125.
So this week is kind of a unique show. We are speaking with Briankilmeade, kind of turning the tables on him. He's usually the one interviewing, but this week he is going to be in our hot seat.
Yeah, he's from Fox and Friends, if you didn't know. He has a radio show, and he has how many books? Like seven books?
I think 9.
He wrote so many books, and he's a big history buff, so super intelligent. I am so excited to speak to him today, and I apologize in advance. I am sick, of course, and 'tis the season, so bear with my horrible voice as we get through this day.
I think it's going around because I'm just all congested too.
I know.
Coughing.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
It's the season. September school starts and then winter's coming. We all get sick. But I'm like, of course today I had to lose. My voice sounds all stuffy, but we'll make it through. You guys, we'll make it through. So they always say, like, don't talk politics on shows. Don't, show your views on most shows. And today it's going to be a little different for us because we have Briankilmeade. And me and Shawna were like, you know what? I think this is the perfect opportunity for Shawna and I to talk about some hot ticket items, hot topics that normally maybe you don't want to touch upon. And, I made a post the other day, and it was like a meme that said, basically, if he was going to destroy it, he would have done that in 2016. And if she was going to fix it, she would have done that already after, all these, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's about Trump and Kamala, obviously. And I've said it before, I'm not a big Trump obsessed person. But I do feel that things were better back then. I feel that things are not good now. So I made this post, and it's just so horrible, Shawna. You see it every day. The politics, the division, the nastiness that people, they just attack you.
They do.
They attack you, especially if you're voting or leaning more towards the right or to Trump.
Oh, yeah. They just can't scroll by.
No.
I scroll by, I'm like, ugh, and I just, half the time I don't even read it. I don't really read much on Facebook anyway lately these days, but especially political posts. But these people that lean way to the left, they just love to attack.
Oh my God.
And they love to put their 2 cents in. And, there's people who I don't even know that comment on my post. And I'm like, where did you come from?
Yeah.
Do you even know me?
No, I get that could happen on both sides, but I've noticed more with my left-leaning friends or my more liberal friends. I have been deleted. I have been cursed out. They've talked to me so nasty, and I've never done that to anybody. I'm very respectful.
Yeah.
I think that any of my friends that are listening right now that have opposite views than me, they will tell you I always have a very respectful, professional conversation when we talk politics. I'm eager to learn, to see their view, even if I don't agree. I'm always eager for that, and I don't argue with them.
Yeah,
but that's not the same on the other side for me.
No, it is not. And I have one liberal friend. Actually, I wouldn't even say liberal. She's more Democrat. She always just says well, I don't see it that way. Trump is a disaster, and and I'm like, well, Kamala to me is a disaster. Not even Kamala, it's Biden.
It's whole...
And it's not, you can't even blame it on Biden.
No.
Because it's not just Biden. It's not just Kamala. And it's not just Trump. They have a team.
Administration, yep.
They have a team that they all work together. And I blame the media. I was watching TV last night, and I was not watching Fox. I was switching between ABC, NBC, and Fox because there was a very big... case last night that happened, and I wanted to see the national news coverage for a local situation that happened. So I was watching, national news, and the way that each channel twists what happens is crazy to me.
Yep. I was having this conversation with someone, and it came down to Biden, and they were asking me on that post I made, how can you vote for that man? You know, he's evil, he's a devil, and why aren't you voting? You were a Democrat, because I grew up a Democrat, and I grew up more left-leaning, more independent, but more left-leaning. And I said, listen, I have lost all respect for that party. And it came down to being gaslit by the Democratic side. And like you said with the media, let's take Joe Biden, for example. How many years have we all been saying he's mentally unfit? He's not healthy. He's not physically fit to be president. He's not fit to run for president. And they'd say, oh, he's fine, right?
Yeah, but that's all coming from the media.
Yes.
You know, so if the media kept saying, he's sick, he's this, we would start believing it. You know, even if they said that about Trump, I'm sure we would be like, oh my God, what's wrong with him? You know, and so the more you say something.
But they edit too. That's what I was getting at. Like my father, you know, loves Biden. And when I would say to my dad, like he can't even speak. He's up on that podium and he's staring around the room, not knowing where he is. And my dad'd go, where are you seeing that? I watch all his speeches. I watch every one of them. He sounds fine. He has a speech impediment. How can you put him down like that? He's not wandering around a room. And I'm like, are we watching two different things? And yes, we are, Shawna, because they're editing out. He would show me, and they would make his speeches look like flawless almost, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But then if you watch the other side, you'd see him wandering around a room, staring, making all these mistakes. So I can't even get mad at my father and other people because the media was showing them a facade.
Yes,
that's what I was getting at. The media on that side showed them a facade that this man is physically and healthy and mentally fit to be president. And on the other side, we were seeing the truth. He is not, you know?
Yeah, we were also seeing, you know, for instance, opposite news stations will, you know, they also edit where the bad parts.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so you got to watch both sides, you know, different channels to see different things. And, you know, I am watching different channels and trying to get different opinions and, you know, kind of make my own opinion and see like who's really telling the truth here.
Exactly. Watch the full thing of everything. And it's sad. And I hate that we had to be afraid now to talk about who we want to vote for, who we're picking, you know, as if it makes us bad people. And Shawna and I are the first people that would help anybody, no matter your nationality, your gender, your beliefs. We'd be there for you.
Yeah.
Just because we're voting for what matters to us in our life. And this is a conversation I had with my more liberal friend. I said, I am voting for my children. I love RFK. I wish he could be president. He's running with Trump. That's a perfect combination for me then. Protect our children, protect the health of our country. He wants to go after FDA and all. That's important to me. Whereas someone else, that might not be important to them. That's why they're voting their way. And I respect that. Yeah. But they can't respect why I want to vote this way. And it really is disheartening. And it's really affecting families, friends, everything in our country. And it's very sad.
Again, I think it goes back to the media. It's the way that they portray it. Mm-hmm. And if they...
And social media, 100%.
Portray it a different way, exactly with social media, you know, we might be able to be friends again.
I know. But, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for the best come November. And, you know, we all have to kind of understand why we're voting the way we are on both sides. It's something that's very important to us. Each presidential candidate has policies that mean a lot to us, and that's why we vote the way we do. And maybe we don't want some of their policies, or maybe we want more of that one. That's why we cannot demonize each other based on who we want to vote for. And if you know, people will stand there, well, how can you? You're immoral if you vote for him because he's the devil and he's evil. And I've not seen any of that. He's not. And that's, like Shawna said, the media, social media, putting that into your heads. And it's crazy that the most intelligent people that I know can be that naive to be able to be brainwashed to believe that. And it's the same scripted hatred that comes out of their mouth, the same scripted lines. He's the devil, he's this, he's that. And it's all the same. Like, I could record each person that don't even know each other and play it back, and they all say the same exact lines. Don't you see that as brainwashing? Because you're not even thinking for yourself at this point, you know?
Exactly. Well, they think that they're thinking for themselves.
And they're not.
But they're not.
They're not.
But if you also ask them, okay, well, what did he do that was mean?
Or what was evil? what was
can't answer
racist.
you.
They can't. But I could tell you a few things on the other side that was racist, back in the day. We can't pick and choose. I always say we cannot pick and choose when we want to, out of someone's life, when they were bad and when they were good. If you're going to do it for that one, you got to do it for the other one. And it's just, there's so much hypocrisy. And I am just so tired of it. I cannot wait for this election to be over. I'm praying for the best. Whoever wins, I'm praying that as a country we can get better. I am worried for my children, but all we can do is just hope and pray that things get better and hope and pray that who we want to win wins. I do not believe that the country's going to become a dictatorship if Trump wins. That's absolutely absurd. It's not. That's what they're afraid of. It's not happening. He doesn't want that.
But the media will portray it that way.
They are. My friends are writing that. He's going to come. One friend wrote, he's going to come in and he's never leaving. He's going to just rule forever. I'm like, come on. Like, you're smart. Why would you really believe that? Do you really believe that? And they do, because that's what they've been brainwashed to believe, At the end of the day, for me, when I'm looking at both candidates, like I said, you're voting on what policies that are going to change your life or affect your life the most, which I get. And also for me and others with Donald Trump is that we know what we're getting with him. We know what we're getting. There's no facade to him. There's no like kissing butt and being fake. He is who he is. He's a jerk. He could be egotistical, but he's out there in the open. There's no secret. There's no hiding. There's no faking who he is. So you know what I mean? Like, we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
And in 20 years, this is what I said to someone. In 20 years, I'm not going to care at all what a president said, how they said it, what they said, whose feelings they hurt, how off color it was. I'm not going to care about that. In 20 years, I'm going to care what a president prevented, what a president took care of, what a president changed, how he bettered things, bettered our country, bettered our future for our children. That's what's going to matter to me, not what they said and just the off color stuff like that. That's what's important.
Exactly. And especially what they did for our veterans, because what they're doing now for our veterans and our military is absolutely horrible.
Absolutely horrible. Exactly. So that stuff's important to us. How they see, how they view our country, how they protect our country, what they're doing, not what they say, not what they tweet, not what they put on social media. That's all stupid. I don't agree with it. I wish that someone would take his computer away from him.
Yes.
Take it away.
The Twitter especially.
Take it away. But that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things to me. It matters what he actually is going to do. And so that's what I want to say about it, is that's what it comes down to for me. And I think the other side kind of harps on the tweets and what he says and how off color he is, which I get, it's not professional, but at least we know what we have and what we're getting, not this fake phony stuff like we get with other, not even on the left, it's on both sides, phony politicians. I hate phony politicians.
Yes.
You can't trust them. I know what I'm getting with him.
And they need to be held accountable for what they say they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Not just to say it to get in and then, nope.
Exactly. And the other thing that you could always blame the media on is the whole situation with P. Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
And, they always portrayed him in this good light, he was an entrepreneur, a business owner, and how great he was. But then, there was the bad side of him.
Yeah.
That they didn't show, but yet the evidence was all there the whole time. He would always talk about these different parties that he was having and, with all these elite celebrities. And you just wonder what goes on at those so-called parties. And now the truth is coming out.
Oh, yes. It's coming out.
And you cannot hide it.
It's oiled up and ready to go. Like, that truth is sliding on out.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 bottles of baby oil. I was dying. Like, what? What?
I can't believe it, You
met him, right?
I didn't meet him. My hand met his car.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so my uncle owned a body shop, and he used to go to different auctions, and he bought P. Diddy's old car.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to actually, he wanted everyone to, see it.
Yeah.
So I went to say to my cousin, wait, let me see what the inside looks like. and he went and shut the door and broke all my fingers.
In P. Diddy's car.
In P. Diddy's car. Yeah.
See, he wasn't even there and he was hurting women. Look at that.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great story. I could tell, you know, I've always wished to say, like, to P. Diddy, like, you don't know this, but I broke my fingers in your car. But yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to take things with a grain of salt when you watch any sort of media or read any sort of media, because it's always going to be a little bit biased. I wish that it wasn't. I truly wish that news wasn't, where it was just kind of like, this is what's going on. But of course, there is an agenda. No matter what side you're on, you feel strongly about something, so you're gonna kind of sway and push things in a certain light, you know?
Yeah.
And like with P. Diddy, he was a big guy. He had a lot of money. You don't want to piss him off, or you know what I mean? Like,
he's powerful.
He's powerful. And I think that now with this case, a lot is going to come to light with a lot of different things and a lot of different people. And let's just hope that it gets out there in the news and these people get put away and dealt with, because just like we saw with the Epstein thing, didn't happen.
No.
Did not happen. And I'm scared that that's going to be the same case with this, is it's not going to happen. And that's just disgusting to me.
It is. And, you know, I have this feeling where he's going to just get off with it because he's just going to pay the people.
I don't know. I don't think he will, but I think other people will. Like the bigger people. There's always someone bigger in this whole thing, in the grand scheme of it, you know?
Yeah.
P. Diddy's going to be the sacrificial lamb, just like Epstein was. He's either going to commit suicide or be killed, or, you know what I mean? Right now they said he's not eating because he's afraid he's going to be poisoned. So that means he doesn't want to die. So if he does, quote, you know, commit suicide, we're going to know it's greater forces at hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
Because if he wanted to die, he would let them poison him. But he doesn't want to eat because he's afraid someone's going to try and kill him. So
I didn't
we
hear
shall
that.
see.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I just saw that. He's on a food ban. Yeah, what a horrible man. But
I'm surprised he don't have his own chef in there.
oh, God. Yeah, they're probably not going to let him do that. Yeah, it's a sick world out there, sick people. And, yeah, I think that we need to bring back some law and order and get a hold of things, drain the swamp, and try and get all this corruption out of there. It'll never happen, but I think that we need to elect people who are willing to do that and get all that corruption and bad stuff out.
On the show right now, we have one of my favorite TV hosts, Briankilmeade. He is the co-host of Fox and Friends. He has his own radio show, The Briankilmeade Show, which is also on Fox. And he has One Nation with Briankilmeade, also on Fox. So with everything that you have going on, I mean, you host Fox and Friends, One Nation, your radio show, and you're an author. How do you have time to plan a tour? And when do you sleep?
Thanks for the question. I mean, I'm looking up, when you have the job, it's like coming here. It's a big gym. It's like, how can you help out? So the Saturday show is Saturdays at 9. But unless there's breaking news, I could tape it. So that allows me to, on weekends, to be able to go on stage. I used to do stand-up. I miss doing it, but I also feel in a way I got past it. And the one thing I love doing, people always ask me to talk about history or the news. I said, well, there's a lot of conflict of interest. If you ask me to talk to a trade show, are they voters? Am I talking to a group that might be Republican or Democrat? I can't be accused of being, say I go speak to a bank and that bank ends up going belly up. Well, who's their keynote speaker? That guy from Fox. Now I'm involved in some controversy. So all these speaking things where I really enjoy were getting turned down. I said, what if I created my own event? What if I talked about my 6 history books, and my 2 sports books, and made it inspirational, motivational, and educational? Mm-hmm. And I interact with the audience, and it's unscripted, and there's nothing on prompter. And I thought, after a while, after doing it for a year or so, I thought, what if I brought some of those moments to life? And then I had 2 friends of mine, big stand-up comedians, and we bring some of those great moments in history, from George Washington's Secret Six, Thomas Jefferson, Tripoli Pirates, Andrew Jackson, The Miracle of New Orleans, Sam Houston, The Alamo Avengers, the President and Freedom Fighter, and now Teddy and Booker T. I bring some of those moments in a fun way to life. And I think it turned into a big stage show that gets better every time. and we did a couple in the summer, and they said, Brian, can you do Peekskill October 20th? I said, let's do it on a Sunday because who knows what's going to happen on a Saturday. So Sunday we'll be able to go there, and show starts at 7:00.
Yeah. Well, we are definitely looking forward to it. And where does your fascination come from, like, with history?
Well, I mean, I always was fascinated by the history around us, especially, in Peekskill in New York City and Long Island and Connecticut, where Washington, Hamilton, where, Patrick Henry, especially in Boston, of course, in Philadelphia, all around us. You travel to it, you go visit it, you go to a town, you say, hey, let me go check out Constitutional Hall. You come here and you go see the places, if you go to Virginia, you go to Mount Vernon. I thought, I wonder if there's stories that need to be told again, or areas that are unplowed ground that I could go and dominate one portion of it and bring it to life. I can't do the definite biography of George Washington. I don't have the resources, not smart enough. I think these other people work on it for decades. I said, what if I just took one element, and that was his interaction with the spies? What if I told you one element of Jackson, and that's his major win as a major general at the Battle of New Orleans? And Sam Houston, well, what happened after the Alamo? Everyone writes about the Alamo. What happened after?
Yeah.
And then I realized in telling these stories, really smart people just don't have the time to jump into history. It doesn't mean they're not interested. And that's where I come in. I just thought, I'm telling people things, getting them excited about history again. And then they start tearing down statues. They start mocking America's past. The 1619 Project comes out. America was never that great, according to one governor of New York that we're both in. Well, I disagree. We're not perfect, but what makes us great is that we try to be. And I wanted to push back. And now it's turned into a big war for history and against people that want to tear it down.
They want to erase it.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it. It's not even. I can't even say that there's a critic that says, "Well, you're being too critical." No, they're trying to rip it down. Union Square, defiling statues in front of Union Square in Washington D.C.
Yep,
I see it every day around Columbia University and around City College here in Manhattan.
It boggles my mind. I don't understand. I do not understand how anyone could think that is the way to do this. We have children, our future, that are going to grow up. They need to learn. We need to learn the ugly, the good, the bad, because that's what makes us not repeat history. And that we have to learn from it. We can't just hide it,
I thought so. I thought the most interesting thing is you can see and feel the places in which they wrote about and where they lived. I mean, when people say this happened in history, well, they go to ancient Rome. Yeah, if you're lucky enough to go to Italy, you could feel it and see it. And it's a great moment. So it's great. But you don't have to go to Italy to get American history. You can go around us. And I can tell you that Alexander Hamilton was right here. And Aaron Burr was shot right here. Alexander Hamilton right here. George Washington said failed to his troops right in downtown New York City. Sam Adams was able to take on the British in the siege of Boston right here. John Adams lived right there. This is where Thomas Jefferson came out and here's the Declaration of Independence, wrote of it. Here's where he crossed out some of the words that his fellow founding fathers didn't find acceptable. And here's where James Madison lived. And this is the burn marks that are still in the White House after the British burned it down. And Madison escapes with his life, and his wife almost didn't. Wow. So I don't have to take my word for it. Go see it. Go see what they saw.
And they're going to miss out on that. And it's truly heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking. It's sad. Right in Goshen, I don't know if you're familiar with Orange County. Right in Goshen, George Washington had his offices.
Yeah.
My friend's building.
Yep.
His office her office was right in his office. Like, it's crazy to me. And they kept it all original. Like, the whole building is what it looked like when he was there. It's amazing.
It is. I mean, and we've done a great job as a country putting up the signs and preserving, in many cases, through private funding. A lot of it is daughters of the revolution of the past. They knew we got to save Teddy Roosevelt's house. Up come the daughters of the revolution. We got to save Washington stuff. We got to say people are going to see it. This country's going to be special. And a lot of people in those times kept history for us. So at least we could do is read it least we could do is understand it. How dare we judge people in the past by our own standards as if we figured it all out? Mm-hmm. We haven't.
No, nope, not at all.
I just think that that's what I try to do. I find people at the end of these shows come up to me and say, I didn't know that. I appreciate it. And it's I just try to make the whole night motivational and kind of inspirational because I start with a lot of the sports stuff.
So what do you think has changed the most about politics since you've started hosting and really getting into politics and reporting about politics?
I think people got more into it. More people are into it. I can't tell you, I started in sports and everybody wants to talk about their team. I got it. I used to do sports radio. You got to find out whatever city you're from. I understand it. But now politics is not, are you interested? It is who you're voting for. And everybody judges you by who you vote for or don't vote for. So, and I think it was happening before Trump. People want to blame Trump. I don't blame Trump. Trump just rose up and says, this is me. And other people say, how dare you get elected? And how people say, how dare can you not vote for him? He brings up passion. He knows how to speak to people. He's the exact opposite of what you think he would be. I think he likes everyday people more than he does rich people. I think he likes celebrities, but I think he's just as happy with a guy that just came back from Iraq or Afghanistan. He's more intrigued by them or cops, that saved him the other day, the Secret Service and the Palm County cops that chased down the would-be assassin. Mm-hmm. The reason why he got elected and got more votes the second time than any Republican in history is because he relates to everyday people. But it really bothers other people like Robert De Niro, and I can't quite figure out why. Just don't vote for him.
Yeah.
What's with the hate?
I don't know. I have asked my more liberal friends, and their answers are always the same. They hate him because he's evil. They hate him because he's racist. And I said, "What? How? And they never have an answer."
Exactly. They can never answer the question.
Right. Yeah, it's just something about him. I'm not sure. But, I also noticed there was a lot of hate for Bush.
Yeah.
I remember that David Letterman was mocking John McCain's age relentlessly every single night when people were actually watching late night shows. And I thought to myself, where's that coming from?
Yeah.
It was one of the first times I thought, because Johnny Carson, which predates you guys, I get it. But he was just a legend that got 20 million viewers a night. You wouldn't really tell if he was Democrat or Republican. He was friends with Ronald Reagan, and he was friends with John F. Kennedy. And you didn't know where he voted for because he didn't think it was his job. Now I watch the late night shows, and they're all news shows.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and these guys. So, and they all hate Trump. They just can't stop.
No, I know they say derangement syndrome, but it's kind of like a sickness in a way, an obsession. I call it an obsession, and it's not good. It's not healthy. And I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever end. That's what I fear.
We'll see what happens. I think when people know if Trump wins, they'll know he's done in for either way.
Yeah.
So there'll be a new generation. There won't be any pushback from the current generation. We know Joe Biden's gone. And Donald Trump will be gone. And the next group will be 40 and 50. So I think it'll be good for the country.
Good. Yeah, no, that's true. I never thought of that like that. And as a history buff, and you're knowledgeable in politics, I'm not as knowledgeable, but do you think we'd be better off to get rid of the two-party system? Or is it something that we definitely need?
I don't know what system would be better. You usually got to be able to consolidate people, get to some type of collective thought.
Yeah.
Have a mission statement because you represent an entire country. That's why you put up a cabinet of different expertise. So the cabinet, the party is supposed to give an idea of where you're heading as a country with an idea of where you stand for as a party. It seems to have worked. Yeah. But I would see, just as you go to a period of polarization, maybe we'll have a period of reconciliation where it's no longer cool to call the other person terrible names.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting at. Like I feel that with the party systems, people are, I'm Democrat, so I have to vote Democrat, or I'm Republican, so I have to vote Republican. And then I don't think that either side actually looks at maybe the other person's policies or who they are. They're just, picking what party they're in. Yeah. So I always said, I wish it could be like back in high school, you ran for president, you went up there, you weren't in a group. It was, hey, this is me, these are my beliefs, this is what I want to do. And you didn't, and that's it. You voted for the person. But I think now with social media, people are just voting Democrat or Republican without caring about what changes are happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I heard some people describe it, where we agree on maybe 40% of the things, but the last 10% really divide.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what really gets me about this cycle is common sense. It used to be like, we need universal health care, but what the objective was is to get people health care. How you approached it is one thing. So, I thought that those days were good. I want more money in the military. I want less money in the military. All right. But now you have, do you think you want to get somebody in the border? We just got 8 million people. We have no idea who they are. Oh, by the way, do we really need to spend $7 trillion on a green agenda that can't be backed by science when we're already $30 trillion in debt? There's just a common sense. Of course you have to have a strong defense. I mean, we've totally let the guard down. There's been no push to recruit like we used to recruit from the military. I think that, we're seeing overseas, we used to be proud of our presence overseas. We don't seem to be doing that now. So, having boys play in girls sports, really? Do you really even say that? Don't tell your parents that you're transitioning. Do you really think that this should be an issue? These aren't the same issues. I hope we get to normal issues again.
Yes, that's normal. Exactly. Normal and important issues, not the little things that, okay, you want to change something here and there, but they're making that a big issue.
Right. I mean, if you say you don't like oil and gas, well, do you know who the most responsible, environmentally conscious country in the world? I think outside maybe one of the Nordic countries. Fine. But do you know that everything you use needs oil? Do you know everything that we want to make to cook, to live our lives, to make jeans needs oil and gas? Why are you vilifying those people? Why are you vilifying rich people? What happened to common sense? Why is that person successful? I'd like to be that way. I'd love to we used to go try to be mentored by the successful. Now we try to vilify the successful and say they should be giving up more of their money. That's what I'm saying. What happened to the common sense? Are there some scoundrels? Sure. Are there people that bilk people out of their money and become rich? That's not what I'm talking about. When you tell me Jamie Dimon, who I've never met, became CEO of J.P. Morgan and brought all this money and wealth to the investors as well as people that work for him, I'd like to learn from him. I don't hate him. I don't hate Goldman Sachs. I love, a lot of these men and women work 20 hours a day in order to have the experience when they're 35, 40 of being able to take vacations. They'll put it on hold for 10 years and work hard. That's a choice. They shouldn't be vilified. They're not selling their soul. We got to go back to those things. Pick a career. You want to be a coach. You're not going to be rich, but man, you're going to impact people and you have a chance to compete every day. That's fantastic. You want to make money, you got to go work your camps. You got to go give speeches. I appreciate that. I don't resent them because they coach at Alabama and I'm at Nassau Community College. We have this whole jealousy thing. I don't know where that came from.
I think it's just been part of, I always blame everything on social media, and maybe I shouldn't, but I feel that did change a lot in what we're looking at. We're jealous, we're seeing, we're hearing, we're more than we used to, and more than my parents used to. So I think a lot of that too. It's just, and everyone wants handouts, and it's not right.
And I just think overall, and the one thing I'll try to get through on the show on the 20th is that, you need luck. Absolutely. You need people looking out for you. You should appreciate it. But if you put in the hard work and compete, you're already won. You can't judge outcomes, but you can always control your effort. Sometimes you do everything right. You don't get the job. You don't get the school you want. You don't get the promotion you deserve. Did you give everything? Could you do anything better? Examine it and it'll come. But that feeling of satisfaction when you work hard and do everything necessary, relax on the results, because a lot of times it's out of your hands. And stop blaming people. Don't blame the president because things aren't working out in your life. Take responsibility yourself. Have to do some self-examination. Talk to your friends about things you can improve, personally and professionally, and compete. And it's not my senator's fault. You didn't get the girl or the guy. I can't blame the congressman that I don't have the house that I wanted. What you do is be grateful for what you have, go compete for what you want, and be happy that you live in this country along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're very blessed and we're very lucky, and people need to realize that. And like you said, work hard. We have lost that work ethic. We've lost that self-awareness and the taking responsibility for our actions and our decisions. And I full-heartedly agree with you. It's something that I hope comes back. It's something I'm teaching my children, and I hope more adults do teach this future generation that.
Absolutely. So I hope to see you guys on the 20th.
Yes, the 20th.
Brian,
Just go to Briankilmeade.com and VIP. If you get in the VIP aisle, you get there early, and we set it up with a small group of people and give you an idea what the show is going to be like. Answer any questions about the news, about Fox or anything, and then we interact with each other. It's usually one of the coolest parts.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to get there early.
And that's October 20th at 7
Yep.
p.m.
Yeah, just give me your names. We'll get you passes, and I look forward to meeting you guys in person.
And Brian will be at the Hudson Valley Paramount Theater October 20th at 7 p.m. You can get tickets at briankilmeade.com. And thank you, Brian, so much for calling in today. We absolutely loved having you on the show.
Oh my God, what an intelligent man, right? How smart is he?
He's so smart.
So smart. I really enjoyed speaking with him and learning, and I love history, as you know, so that it was really cool. And he has a show, like he said, it's called the History, Liberty, and Laughs Tour. He's doing this tour. He's going to be again in Peekskill October 20th at 7 p.m. If you love history, or you just want to go because you like Brian or want to hear what he has to say, this is the perfect show for you. He's going to take you kind of on a journey through America's past and then connect these historical events with issues today. So kind of tie them in to say, hey, let's not repeat history. This is what happened. We don't want this to happen because of that. And I cannot wait to go. And again, October 20th at 7 p.m. And that's in Peekskill at the Paramount Hudson Valley Theater.
I can't wait for it.
I know. I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So everyone, you can get your tickets at briankilmeade.com. You're listening to Shawna and LaLa. Make sure to follow us on social media at Shawna and LaLa. You could follow me at The Real Shawna May on Instagram and TikTok.
And follow me at Bella_Lala125.
We will see you next week.